What's up, friends? It's your traveling SLP / homeschool mama extraordinaire here. So I've just been having first of all, let's just be honest. When I work, I drive a lot and have a lot of time to think, which is nice. When you have 3 kids, you don't really have time to ponder deep thoughts. And my heart just keeps going back to this song that we've been singing at church the last few weeks. And it's from Elevation Worship. It's Do It Again. And it's just so good. So good. But there's a bit of a backstory. It's my favorite song. And it has been for, probably close to 3 years now. And I'll tell you why. And you need to listen to it. That's the moral of this video. So if you don't want to hear the backstory, just stop and listen to it now. But when we started our church, Vertical Church, in core group, so that's when we were still meeting in a hotel meeting room every Sunday night with a pretty small group of people, this song came out. And during that time of our lives, we really chased after God in a way we've never before. We locked arms with people who had the same goal. And, I had a couple really great friends who mentored me and helped me to pursue a relationship with God that was back and forth and present and meaningful, and it just really changed our lives and changed me as a person hugely. Before, I would say I was pretty emotionally unstable. I sought after my validation as a person through the wrong avenues, just through social media and selling things, and just not appropriate, not things that were ever going to get me what I wanted. So in that year of core group, I really found my worth and my identity and my values in Christ. And that is, life-changing. And God is the ultimate planner, because the timing of what happened next was just, God-driven. It had to be, because had the things that happened to me over the next 2 years happened before core group and before I formed a deeper relationship with God, it wouldn't have went well, I don't think. But so we wanted a third baby in the first year of core group, and a lot of people were praying for us that would happen, because I know we do have 3 children, but we have to have treatment and deal with infertility to end up with babies. And it's kind of a struggle. So a lot of people are praying for us, and lo and behold, we got pregnant, and it was so awesome. It was an answer to prayer, and we're so excited. And close to 3 months later, we lost that baby. And it rocked my world when I was sitting in the doctor's office, because I just never pictured that as part of my story. But what happened next in those people flooding around us, and not just typing "I'm praying for you" on a status on the internet, but coming to our house, holding our hands, praying for us, bringing us food. It was so good to see people be in the hands and feet of Jesus. And during that, during the pain of that, I still had a huge peace. I knew that God had a plan for my life, and that, pain was going to be there, but that I had this hope that it would be okay, and that this was not the end of our story, that we would have other babies. And that song came out right about then. Sorry, I almost forgot that's what I'm talking about. But Do It Again came out right during all that's happening. And I remember just sobbing in the car when it would come on. There was this mountain in front of us, but God was going to move it. And I knew He would. And then, right after that, my grandma, who had been fighting cancer and went through chemotherapy, it had damaged her immune system to where she got this super infection and ended up in James Cancer Center for a long time. But they couldn't figure out for the longest time what it was and how to treat it, and that we didn't have any definitive answers of what the outcome was going to be. So I remember driving up to Columbus and holding her hand and playing that song for her, both of us crying. And she's just such a strong woman of faith, and we knew that, God was going to handle this, that through the pain and the weakness and the illness, that there was going to be a good outcome. And there was. On Easter of that year, she came home. She came home, and she hasn't really had a long hospital stay since, and she's doing really well. And it's just 2 mountains God moved during this time, and that song's just like my theme song. And then we got pregnant again. Yay, the mountain was moved. And it was a little nerve-wracking because it could always end sadly again, but it didn't. And we get to the 8th month of pregnancy though, and I started getting really sick with like high blood pressure and preeclampsia symptoms and all this. So I would just play that song over and over, that yes, I was in front of a mountain yet again in the 2nd year of this journey. But I'd seen him move 2 huge mountains for me, and I was in the triage for OB almost every other night with high blood pressure and other symptoms. And at 35 weeks, they induced me. They said it wasn't safe to continue any longer, and they did it just at the right time. That he probably wouldn't, one of us probably wouldn't have made it had they waited any longer. But we ended up with this beautiful baby boy, even at the end of all that pain and sickness. And I just, I hope I'm sure somebody can relate to this, and I hope it helps somebody. But if you're facing a mountain today, just know that God has a plan for you, and it could be moving that mountain, or it may not. It may not end up in the way that you would want it to be, but God has a plan for your life, a good plan, and a purpose for you, and all you have to do is seek after Him to find it. So I hope you guys have a great Friday and a great weekend. Bye.